What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 44 of the Bo Show podcast. Alongside me today, underwhelmed and disappointed, Mr. Brock Thompson.
You know exactly how I'm doing.
I know I
Ask me
do.
how you're doing either.
You don't have to ask me how I'm doing either, Brock, because I'll admit it's not too good. Before we dig into the meat and potatoes of this podcast, guys, it's good to be back. Obviously, week off and a week that we didn't want to take off, but life hits you like a rock sometimes. And life hit my boys, Brock Thompson. First of all, Brock, life hit you because you hit your 1 year wedding anniversary alongside.
Correct.
Yeah. So alongside Devin Pierce, not with us, as you may know, we posted on Instagram. He's in State Wars. He's in the gold medal game right now, State Wars. We're going to be tuning in to watch him right when we're done this podcast. But Brock, you alongside with Devin got married on the same day, August 7th, 2019.
August 4th.
Sorry.
That's right.
August 4th, 20.
Shaden got married on the 7th.
Yeah, Lauber was the 7th. You're August 4th.
So I'll let you off with that one.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Anywho, life hit you because you got your wedding anniversary. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how was it? You guys went back to Minnie and
We went back to Minnesota. We celebrated with our families. It turned out to be a little extended vacation. We found a couple good deal tickets to stay for a little longer. So we ended up staying there. I think Kadrian was there for 14 days, and I think I was there for 11.
Wow. And you brought the dog with you. You brought Stella. You guys got your own row. That must have been
own
nice.
row.
No one in the middle seat. Stella had the floor.
Stella had the floor. She did 6 flights.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
She probably slept like a rock on those planes too. Like dogs can sleep anywhere. So that nice little light carpeted floor was probably beautiful for her.
She's an impressive dog, I can tell you that.
Well, Brock, congratulations. So for everyone out there chirping you, Brock, saying, well, we wanted to hear your voice last week. What would you have to say to those people?
Boy, that's a good question. I don't know. Were people saying that?
No one said that. I was just wondering. I just wanted to see if you'd say anything.
No.
Brock, but that's what life hits you. That's what hit you last week. Well,
it was a good hit.
It was a great hit.
Great hit.
You were probably hitting it too. All right. No.
Avocado.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Thanks, Brock. No, I didn't mean like that. Like you could have been hitting something else too, like baseball bats or something, or baseballs.
But golf balls. I did play a lot of golf.
That's what I meant. You were hitting it like you were at the range and you were golfing.
I played a ton of golf.
Yeah. So for all you people with sick minds, you can go somewhere else. Now, Brock, where'd you golf? Minnesota, they got nice courses?
Yeah. Victory Links.
Okay. Haven't heard of it. Is it like a PGA course or something? You said that like I should know what that is.
I thought you might because have you ever been to Minnesota?
Oh, Brock, I've been to Minnesota. I've been to Minnie.
Right. So have you been to the Swan Soup Rink?
Absolutely, I have.
It's the golf course that is owned by the Swan Soup Rink.
Oh, okay.
That's why I thought you would know it. It is PBA. It is PGA. I think there have been events there. It's not. It's definitely not on the tour annually. Brooks Koepka loves the course and says that their greens are like what was this? I forget what he said, but they are flawless greens, just flawless greens. So my uncle is the rink manager there, and he likes to help us out, get us on the course every once in a while. So I think I ended up playing 5 rounds there.
What? And Brock, don't tell me it was 4 letters, FREE. Was it free?
2 of them were.
Ew. And how much do they charge for a round of golf there? Because in Winnipeg, on average, I'd say even in Manitoba, you're looking at 65 for a round, 40.
65.
Yeah, same thing?
Yep. Unless you go Saturday morning, I think it's 85.
Yeah, a little more on Saturday mornings for sure.
Yeah.
Good. Well,
did you check out Grint?
Checked out Grint. Yes.
Did you see my scores?
I for sure saw you golfing, but you're kind of putting me on the spot. I can't remember exactly what you shot.
Okay. So this will fit perfectly into what I think could be the problem with a bunch of friends that are on Grint. And Cole Gammer, I'd like to give him a shout out because I shot a 101 at a golf course, right?
Rock.
Terrible, absolutely garbage round. but I posted it.
Okay. That's which is unreal. Now, I don't care. I don't know what kind of shout out you're going to give. Cole Gammer would never post that.
Oh, I don't know. He commended me.
He
He
did.
commended me for posting it. He said, Brock, that's an honest score. I respect that.
Would he post it though?
I don't know. Maybe. I doubt he would shoot 101. He's not bad.
Go ahead.
What?
Like, is it you got to continue the story, right? Is there more to the story?
I shot a 101. It was awful. I've never played worse in my life. First of all, playing with my buddy. I'll give a shout out to my buddy. He played D2 full ride in college baseball in California. But he is a whale of a golfer.
Really?
If he hits the ball under 280, he is rattled. He absolutely clobbers the ball. 275 with a 4-iron. I'm not kidding. And this guy, he weighs right now, I think he's weighing in at 160.
Wow.
Yep. And he can just absolutely clobber the ball. So every time I'm with him, he likes to tee off first every time. So I'm trying to compete, with this. You're trying to play good cart golf. I'm trying to compete with a drive that's 320. Can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not kidding. He drives the ball 320. It's insane. And so we're teeing off, and we tee off. I have a good first drive. I'm feeling good.
Okay.
This is my 101 round. All of a sudden behind us, we hear, wait. We turn around, 2 guys, full uniform. They walk up. They're like, hey, sorry, we're a little late. D3 college golfers.
Shut your mouth.
Playing in a scramble that weekend. They're going to practice. So now I've got these 2 college golfers and my buddy all smacking the ball off the tee. I look like my mental state was shattered. I couldn't do a single thing. I couldn't hit a single fairway. I lost every single ball I owned. You hate that feeling when you have to ask a buddy for a ball. I think I lost 12 golf balls. But I was taking honest drops. I'm taking my drops. I'm trying my best. I grinded for that 101. I'll say that.
Wow. Can I just say, Brock, that is, I respect the crap out of you for that story, because do you know how hard it is? Never mind golfing 18 holes with those 3 guys, but how about just your first tee shot? Usually when you just have Greg watching from the parking lot having a smoke.
Yeah. Right.
Like, that's enough pressure as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind having 3 guys who can absolutely lay one off of the tee.
Yep.
So you mentioned a little bit about where you struggled, but like, where did you struggle? Like, where did the most of the 101 come from? Putting?
Oh, my drives.
Drives were bad.
Oh, so bad.
Like you're talking like hobblers, like topping the ball and running like 30 yards.
No. I'm good at making good contact.
Or OB in water.
So many balls that were just gone off the tee. Just slice like you couldn't believe. Like 50 yards forward, 200 to the left.
Oh man.
But
and what was their reaction?
They were the nicest guys ever. And my buddy, he'll give it to me, but he'll still be like, grab another ball. Like, don't worry about it. Just take a drop. He plays really strict, so he's not going to let me off the hook. And I don't really want to be let off the hook, but he'll be like, just grab another ball. Just take a drop. This is your third. Just remind me. But my aunt, her sister is the golf coach at Waldorf University in North Carolina, D1,
okay.
Big South Conference.
Okay.
I got to spend an hour with her before I left.
Life-changing?
Pay to go see a golf pro.
Okay, Brock, that is what everybody is telling. Everybody has said that.
You got to do it. You just got to do it. She immediately knew exactly why I was slicing the ball. She saw it on my first swing, and my next 45 out of 50 balls were straight as an arrow. I'm not kidding.
Do you think some of that is mental?
No, because I was just doing it straight up wrong. So that's just muscle memory, me doing it wrong over and over and over and over again, not knowing the right way to do it. And she just said, you need to do this. You're doing this wrong. And what I was doing was I was using too much of my shoulders. And she's like, since you played baseball, you're going to want to use your shoulders. You're going to want to drop it. My hands are coming in super late.
Yeah.
She's like, Brock, you have to throw your hips forward. She's like, all you have to do is imagine there's paparazzi over to the side of you, and they're trying to take that perfect picture pose after you hit your ball. So that's that perfect pose that the guy strikes. She's like, think about that. Just think about finishing like that. And all that did was making sure that my belt is facing where I want to hit the ball.
Yeah.
My hips would come through. I wasn't thinking about my hands. Balls were going straight. I feel really good now.
Now, what about the grip on your club?
She did change my grip. Yep.
And was that uncomfortable?
It was, but apparently I'm an idiot for not even doing it in the first place. All it is lock your fingers and then put your thumb in like the hot dog.
Yeah.
Everyone does it apparently. I was the guy that didn't.
I don't do that.
Oh.
I don't lock these fingers. I don't lock any fingers when I'm swinging a golf club. It feels weird to me. I kind of grip it like a baseball bat almost.
Yikes.
Not like a baseball bat, but like one hand over the other.
Well, do you put your thumb in the hot dog?
No. So I basically make the hot dog, but I just don't put my thumb in the hot dog. Yeah,
whatever works.
Talk to my 82. Tell your assistant she can come over and talk to my 82 if she wants. I can show her the scorecard.
Okay.
But no, I'm not gonna lie. I've heard that one lesson, and even like 2 or 3 lessons in general, can change everything.
Yeah.
Like can have a huge impact. Brock,
that was a lot of golf talk. We got it out of the way early.
We did get it out of the way early, and you know what? If we have time, we might come back to it. Because the PGA Championship was this past weekend. I don't know if you watched any of that, but it was pretty interesting. We'll get to it at the end. Right now, I want to get into what we just experienced. Obviously, you guys saw the Coleton Benn interview that we had at the beginning of the podcast. I totally forgot to throw it to that, but I'll have to add something in at the start. Now, Brock, what do you think about what we just saw? Because it was unbelievable. It was unbelievably disappointing, and it was a letdown for what we just saw in the draft lottery with the ping pong balls blowing up in the air. I felt like I was at a casino. And ultimately, the New York Rangers get the number 1 overall pick in the 2020 NHL draft. They're going to get Lafrenière, my boy Lafrenière. They're getting him. What'd you think, and how are you feeling?
I'm not feeling great because the Wild really had a good opportunity there to have their franchise completely changed. As you heard, Bo, in their little pre-lottery, the Wild have yet to have a top 3 pick in their existence. So everyone that calls them the Minnesota Wild, I think you can just go back and look.
The Minnesota what?
The Minnesota Mild. We've never been given a fair shake. We don't get good draft. We finish in the middle every time. The Mild. We get in and then we get out and we get terrible picks. Now, I'm not as upset as I was initially, Bo, and I'll tell you why. Because the presentation of that draft lottery right there was awful.
It was bad.
It was terrible. Where was the anticipation? Where was our Bo? I wanted the card flip, just like what you said.
I wanted the
Where's
card
flip. Get that guy with the glasses and the bald dude up there giving us the flip.
Yeah, and he got to like. I couldn't agree more with you, Brock. Now listen,
dumb.
I will say this: the anticipation was actually fire. They had a couple like pump up videos and like you know when that guy was pulling out the ping pong balls one by one and inserting them into that air machine. He was like they had to ask Gary Bettman, Gary, is this the New York Rangers? And Gary had to be like, the New York Rangers, it is.
Yeah.
And then they would put the ping pong ball into the thing. I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of sick, but kind of hilarious. But Brock, when they
dropped the ball, pun intended.
Yes, they dropped the ball. Exactly. Pun intended. Nice. Thanks. When they when the ball finally came up out of that air machine, you could see the freaking logo. You could see the logo. You could see, the Rangers got it. And they waited like 20 more seconds as if no one knew. And they're like, the New York Rangers.
Yeah, we're like, wait, what?
Yeah, you could already see the freaking logo before you could see the logo the whole time.
That was terrible. That was so bad.
Oh.
I loved the idea, though. I really did. That was a fantastic idea. And I think the way that it unfolded in the qualifying round, I don't think could have worked in the NHL's favor. It just couldn't have gone any better. Because to have people saying that if Pittsburgh, Edmonton, or Toronto win the lottery, to even have that conversation, you're talking about something, and that's worth
NBA.
it.
You're almost on NBA. You're getting closer to NBA levels. Like
Yeah.
Golden State, like you're talking about that now. Because you're exactly right, Brock. If I was the NHL, I would have never been so relieved when I saw that Rangers ball come up.
Mm-hmm.
Because truth be told, that was the best thing that could have ever happened.
Yeah.
Best thing that could have ever happened. Like if there's any team in the draft that deserved that pick, I don't know about
Wild.
this. Well, the Wild could use it to not be the Minnesota
Most
Wild.
deserving.
I mean, no, they would be the most deserving. Brock, they're not very fun to watch. No.
So they're deserving.
Yeah, so they are deserving. They could use a spice up. They could use
Rangers have Panarin.
They could use some Cajun seasoning. How about the Rangers are all of a sudden finding their stride after losing some key guys a few years ago when they used to be making runs about 6-7 years ago. Now they're finding their stride again.
Whatever. I love teams like that just like on paper they look like they're the best team on the planet, and that's just not the way that hockey works, and that's why the sport's so great. Vegas, prime example. No one's picking them to win, but why do they win? They play as a team.
Exactly.
This pick doesn't mean anything for the Rangers if they can't do it. Prime example, Toronto Maple Leafs, biggest joke in the NHL, and I love to hate them.
Yeah, Brock, you know what? You're bang on with that one. So to give you an idea, the Rangers were second last in their division this year. Okay. They had 79 points. Next were the Islanders at 80 points. Now, mind you, it was a tight division. It was a tight division.
It's a tough division.
The tough division. The Hurricanes, who they faced in the preliminary, the play-in round.
And got curb stomped.
Yeah, they got curb stomped by them. But the Hurricanes were only at 81 points through 68 games in the season, while the Rangers were at 79. The Hurricanes were only 2 points ahead of them. Now,
I didn't know
that. Despite this, I mean, I'd just say that the best thing possibly happened again for the NHL. Like, thank goodness that they got it. You'd think that maybe the Jets would get something back after they just had their whole top six wiped out. It's in by a tsunami. I mean, in the span of 4 minutes, you basically lost your whole franchise, which was really awesome. But
Laine's your franchise, huh?
Well, I was talking more Scheifele.
True, Scheifele's unreal.
But I mean, let's face it, losing Laine didn't help at all.
No. That power play was horrendous after Laine was gone.
The power play really took a hit. Took a big time hit. I mean, you had Wheeler on that spot where Laine usually is on that half wall.
He's a passer.
And he's a passer, right? He's a playmaker. He's not the one. He's not the 1T guy. And like, I'm not coming at Paul Maurice, but I'm saying that it's just not a Laine. Now, this is interesting. Lotto luck. So the last 5 draft lotteries, okay, what we just saw in the Rangers get the number 1 overall pick. Now, listen to how teams have jumped, okay? Because the Rangers just last year in 2019, in last year's NHL lottery, okay, Brock, you mentioned it, they got Capo Caco, 2nd overall, but they jumped 4 spots. They were expected to have the 6th overall pick, and they went to number 2. Okay, and now in 2020, obviously you get the number 1. Now look at some of these jumps. Last year in 2019, Kirby Dach taken by the Chicago Blackhawks. Okay, 3rd overall. 3rd overall. They jumped 9 spots to get him at 3rd overall in the lottery. Listen to this jump. 2018, 2 years ago, Andrei Svechnikov, Carolina Hurricanes, 2nd overall. Carolina jumped 9 spots for that one as well.
Really?
9 spots for that one. Here's a couple more notables over the last few years, just to give you. We got 3 more for you.
Okay.
2017, the Flyers jump 11 spots to number 2 overall to get former podcast guest Nolan Patrick on board for them. 11 spots they jumped to 2nd overall. And then the last 2, a few notables. My Winnipeg Jets jumped 4 spots in 2016 to 2nd overall to get Laine. And of course, who else but the Edmonton Oilers, who have had 37 number one overall picks in the last 4 years, even though it's not even humanly possible. They've still somehow managed to do it. And of course, they jumped 2 spots to number one to get Connor McDavid back in 2015, the best player in my mind to ever live. Yeah, they jumped 2 spots for that guy.
I didn't know who should have won that one.
I'm not exactly sure. who should have won that one, but it wasn't the Oilers who should have won them. So they got lucky there. So the draft lottery, as much as I love it, it's exciting, it's fun, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. But let's just say, thank goodness that one of those teams, Toronto, Pittsburgh, or Edmonton, didn't get Lafrenière.
Yeah, that would have been tough. But I mean, it also would have put those teams in really interesting spots in terms of their financial status. So
Totally.
you can hate it, but again, like they're not just getting a free player.
Yeah.
There's so many things that have to go into that. And when you've got doesn't Toronto's 4 top players cap hit is more than the entire Blue Jackets team?
Yeah, it makes total sense. The first line on the Rangers, it's Panarin, Zibanejad, and Buchnevich. So, I mean, right there, you're looking at a heavy line.
And the cap didn't go up this year. The cap didn't go up.
No.
I mean, these teams are going to have decisions to make. I don't know. It'll be interesting. But let me tell you one more draft lottery fun fact.
Yeah.
And this is what I loved about the draft lottery. And that's why I'm not so rattled that the Wild didn't get number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fairly rattled. But the Wild fall in now at number 9.
Which is not bad. I think the Jets are going into the teens, so
not bad at all, because thanks to the Hawks, they would have gotten normally 9th, but they beat the Oilers, so they go down. So the Wild are the lowest seed. So the way that it played out this year, even though they didn't get number 1 overall, it still falls in the Wild's favor in this case, and I really, really like that part about it, because I did get to see some Wild hockey, although it was really hard to watch. But.
Absolutely. 100%. To be honest with you, I didn't think about that, how these upsets actually helped. Now, for these teams who won, I mean, the Chicago and the Montreal, I mean, those are the 2 big timers, right there.
Yeah.
For those 2 teams, you better go on a run now, because you lose that pick. And, in the long run, I think it's definitely worth it. Like, these guys the players would rather stay in the bubble and be playing than be eliminated and watching their team for the lottery. But it's going to be interesting. To cap this off, the Rangers lineup now for next year is as follows. Up front: Panarin, Zibanejad, Buchnevich. That's a killer first line. Lafrenière, Strome, and Kakko second line. Okay, Kakko. It's interesting because he was playing on the third and fourth line a little bit this year too.
Yeah, because he's trash.
Yeah,
you ever watch him?
Yes, very, very, very.
He's irrelevant.
Overrated and underwhelming year for Kakko for sure. Third line: Kreider. How do you say his name?
Philip Hedl.
Huh? Hedl. Yeah. Philip Hedl. Yeah, and Gauthier, and then Deshepi. Why does the Rangers have the hardest team to talk about? Deshepi. Giuseppe. Oh. And then, of course, former podcast guest Brett Howden at center on that fourth line, holding the boys down, and Jesper Fast on the fourth line as well. Right.
Wow. That's an interesting lineup.
Pretty deep lineup, if you ask me up front. I think that's
probably the worst second line I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That's a tough second line.
Lafrenière, Strome, and Kakko. That is tough.
I mean, who knows about Lafrenière? He's not a shoe-in franchise player.
No, well, I heard he's not going to be a McDavid, but he's going to be a good top 6 forward.
Well, if he gets picked on the Wild, I'm telling you, sell the farm. He's the best player that's ever stepped on the ice. But since it's on the Rangers, he could be a bust.
He could. And he's going to be going to the City of Lights, Brock. We only know what New York is like, and we only know the life that New York brings. Will he be able to handle that life in New York?
I don't know. Do you want to talk about the bubble life?
So, yeah, let's talk about the bubble life. I mean, the boys are in it right now, Brock. What do you have to say about that? I mean, the guys are in Toronto and Edmonton and not allowed out of the bubble. I saw a video on NHL's Instagram. I mean, they literally have 2 hotels and the rink in Toronto, Scotiabank Place, and 2 hotels, and they have literally a fence around everything, like around the hotels continues. It's a massive fence, like miles long, goes around Scotiabank Place, around both hotels. They don't let anyone in. It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. And I'm gonna have a take here, and it could be hot. I don't know where you'll fall in it. I'm just gonna double check. Okay, I've got my number. Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to say this, and I'm going to say this with all the confidence in the world, that no one who is a hockey fan who has tuned in to the NHL since they resumed is allowed to boo Gary Bettman ever again.
Never.
They are not allowed.
Never.
They are not allowed. And let me tell you why. I guarantee you that Gary Bettman reached out to the players once everything got shut down, and he said this. He said, listen, everyone, I will do everything in my power to get you guys back on the ice as soon as I can, but you have to listen and you have to obey the rules. Go home, enjoy your families.
Yeah.
Stay safe, stay healthy.
Yeah.
And do you know why? Do you know why? Because as of today, 7,245 tests were administered with 0 positive tests.
Thank you.
Are you kidding?
Disgusting.
Do you know what that says about the NHL and the players and what it says about Gary Bettman? I mean, they were so committed to coming back to play that they didn't let anything get in the way. To have 7,000 tests with 0 positive cases, everyone's respecting the rules. Everyone's obeying, the rules in place by the state and the NHL. I could not give more credit to Gary Bettman for getting it up as soon as he did. Every league should model what the NHL did, and when was the last time that was said? I don't think ever. You've got NBA players leaving the bubble to go to clubs, breaking bubble protocol, ordering wings.
You got 37,000 MLB tests and 37,000 positive MLB tests.
Every day.
How that works.
Every 5 minutes, you've got a positive test in the MLB. It says a lot about the character of the people in the NHL, from top to bottom of organizations, saying if you don't want to do it the right way, you're not going to come. They let players opt out. The players that didn't want to come, didn't come. The players that wanted to play came, and they came ready. And we are seeing a product that I don't think anyone expected.
No.
Did you watch the first 10 minutes of Carolina and New York?
Yep, absolutely. I did. There was a tilt right off the bat, a goal, a fight. It was like these guys were waiting for this moment their whole life.
It was like just instant. Like it didn't matter who was there.
It didn't matter, Brock.
Compete. They just it's a switch that got flipped in all of their heads, and they realized in that moment, once that puck dropped, that we're back and this is playoffs and it's do or die. And every single game has lived up to every expectation, and I could not be happier.
You're so right, Brock. I love the tangent you just went on because you're 100% correct. And I will say this too. It doesn't matter how bad you didn't want to be there. If you're a guy who didn't want to be going back, as soon as you went on that ice, that game mode just the mental switch just flips.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, it doesn't matter. You forget about what your opinion is. You forget about what everything is as a player.
Mm-hmm.
You're going. Because there wasn't one guy on that ice who wasn't flying around.
Yep. Everyone was buzzing.
Everyone was buzzing. So, but you're right. Gary Bettman's done an exceptional job, especially comparing it to like the MLB, seeing them just fall apart. It's been horrendous.
Really bad.
Just proves to me that the NHL is and forever will be the classiest and the best league in the world. And they just do it right. They do it so good. So good. And the in-game presentation has been just flawless.
It's been really cool.
Watching on TV has actually, like, I'm used to it now with no fans. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like the coolest thing for me too was seeing guys score goals and still having huge sellies.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sellies were huge. Like there was a couple times where I think of Adam Lowry for the Jets after he scored a big goal, and like hands come up as if he's pumping up the crowd, like lift it up like that one time, and there's no one there. Like, but he's looking like directly through the glass at like one of the camera guys. It's like all you need is just to like see someone and just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so cool. Like, it was just
create your own energy.
Like the sellies were still on point. But
Was it the goal he scored where he batted it backhand out of midair?
yep, exactly.
That was a sick goal for Adam Lowry to
It
score.
was a sick goal for Adam Lowry to score.
You know what I've
Absolutely.
realized? Adam Lowry and Marcus Foligno are the exact same player. They're the same person.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're both number 17, and they play the same way.
Yeah. A couple of hunchbacks. Yeah.
They just run around and just try to just dummy guys, and then we'll score like a random sick goal out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
Imagine them on the same line.
Scary, Brock. Scary. What did you think about the Wild? So I mean, it's too bad Pierce isn't here. We'll talk to him next time. As we've talked about before, he's in the gold medal right now for State Wars. Brock, the Wild, your team, the Jets, my team, and the Predators, Pierce's team, all eliminated from the playoff play-in. Eliminated from the playoffs, we'll just say. Not even getting a chance, and obviously no Lafrenière either, or Lafrenière either. Lafrenière, frick that guy. I mean, what do you think about the Wild? Because Vancouver, they beat him that first game, and then all of a sudden Vancouver seemed to wake up and they came back.
Yeah, I feel a lot better about the Wild than I would if I was Piercy about the Preds.
Oh, that was
what
ugly.
Excuse do they have? They looked awful.
They
looked
a
game.
They were bad.
Yossi was the only one buzzing. Oh, I will say this. You know what? The Wild have the biggest goaltending issue in the NHL. They had two of the worst goalie tandem, they had the worst goalie tandem in the NHL this year in terms of save percentage. That's not going to work.
No.
Especially when you're a defensive-minded team and you don't have a powerhouse offense. You can't do that.
Exactly.
You can't do that. So Stalock did everything in his power to keep pucks out of the net first game. Somehow it worked.
Stalock played well first game, too. I liked him.
He played well, but he's not a starter. He's not a number one. You can't rely on that guy throughout playoffs. And I don't know where Dubnyk's at, but he's got to go. We have the AHL goalie of the year in our system. I'd love to see him just get called up and just kind of throw him into the fire like the Lightning did with Vasilevsky. If you remember, the Lightning had Bishop and Vasilevsky as a backup, and they barely started Vasilevsky. Bishop was playing all the time, off-season, traded Bishop, Vasilevsky, starter. Where is he now? You see that potential, and you see the perfect time to get rid of a player. Now, Dubnyk, they already missed their chance. No one wants him right now.
Exactly.
So the best option is probably going to be a buyout, but we got to get this AHL goalie up here. Kirill Kaprizov just landed in Minnesota today. It's his first time in Minnesota, his second time ever in the United States. He brought it here. This is a huge deal. Even if you're just a hockey fan, because if you think this is borderline like back in the day of the Red Army when a player came over for the first time. Because I'm not kidding. He's been given everything by the KHL. And we in the Wild have done everything to try to get him over here. Think about if you drafted a player and he turned out to be a 5-star recruit.
Exactly.
You can't get him on your team. And you're just like,
exactly.
What's going on? So the fact that we even got him in Minnesota is such a big deal. I think I missed him at the airport by about 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to say, can you imagine what the KHL's given him out there? Like the guy is a king in Russia. He's a king in Russia. So
all-star captain.
Yeah. So Minnesota's going to have to do something. Yeah, they're going to have to do something extravagant.
Yeah. So that's going to be super sick for the Wild just to have him. So I'm really happy about that. The offense is going to really pick up thanks to him.
Yeah.
Other than that, I was really disappointed in the Wild. Suter got hurt. He's our core, and
go ahead.
Sorry, I cannot. I don't like Vancouver at all. I hate them, so I never watched them during the season. But I was forced to watch them now. Quinn Hughes is the best defenseman in the NHL. I don't care what anyone says. Bo, watch Vancouver's series and tell me he is not the best defenseman on the ice.
He also really does look like Mikey Grinelli from Spit and Chicklets.
He does, but he is insane.
Really?
He does not get hit ever.
A small defenseman like him with the speed and the skill that he has, he's good for a reason, and it's because he avoids hits and he's got that head space. He knows what's coming.
He has a bomb of a shot. He can let it go in an instant. instant rocket. His vision is insane. His hands are insane, and he has to be top 3 skaters in the NHL.
Wow.
I think my top 3 skaters in the NHL. Number 1, I think I'll give it to Jesper Bratt for the New Jersey Devils. Number 2 is William Nylander, and then number 3 I think is Quinn Hughes.
He floats.
These guys, if you watch their edge
Connor
work,
McDavid doesn't work into that mix.
he's just a different type of skater.
Are you just talking about flow? Are you talking about flow wise, like just like how nice they look when they skate, basically?
Just
like,
smooth, like his
like
edges.
stride.
Their edges are just ridiculous. They can turn on a dime. They don't lose speed. Their power turns are effortless. They gather speed from, I mean, their can openers, their mohawks, whatever you want to call them. The fact that they can gain speed off that, I almost blow out my hip every time I try to do that move, and they're getting faster.
That's why we call you Guac. That's why we say extra Guac with that, sir.
I know. So everyone listening, do me a favor and watch Quinn Hughes in this next playoff, and don't tell me that he hasn't turned into the best defenseman in the NHL.
I want to get your thoughts on one more series before we close it out today. Real quick, Brock, tell me what you thought about the Leafs and Jackets. Did you see Game 4? The Leafs are down 3-0 with 4 minutes left, and they have nothing going for them. It's like watching paint dry. My brother, diehard Leafs fan, he'd get the Leafs logo tattooed on his face if he could.
I forgot about it.
And he even shut the game off when it was 3-0 in Game 4. When the Leafs were down in the series, 2-1. The Leafs had to win, otherwise their season's over. And all of a sudden, boom, whoever it was, Nylander gets one. Boom, Tavares gets one. Boom, Hyman ties it up at 3. I text him. I say, "Did you just see that? Biggest comeback of all time." He said, "No, I had the game off. I didn't see it." I was laughing. I thought it was hilarious. But that was one of the sickest comebacks of all time. And then, of course, Matthew scores.
Waste.
Of course, Matthew scores in overtime, wins the game. Sickest comeback. And then it all goes to waste. No one will even remember that comeback now because they lost in Game 5. They got hammered 3-0 anyway. Couldn't even get one by Korpisalo. Absolute joke. Torts takes them to the promised land again. After they swept Tampa Bay last year in 2019, 3 straight. Torts does it again. And now guess who they're playing in the first round of the NHL playoffs? The Tampa Bay freaking Lightning. And who do you think is going to be coming for their nuts? The Tampa Bay Lightning is going to be coming for the CBJ's nuts.
True. You know what? Toronto, like I said earlier, I love to hate them. And there's no excuse that they can lose or be down like that. They're a prime example of a team that turns it off and on when they want.
Oh, it was bad.
And do you know what's going to happen to this team is they're not going to be able to dump these contracts.
No,
they're going to be stuck in this, and they're going to get a revolving door of coaches that are going to come in and have to spark the team over and over and over and over again. It's going to be like an old boat motor.
It's going to be bad.
Every time you got to go out there, you got to kick it a few times, then you got to start it, and then you got to go back, and then it'll turn off when you're halfway down the dock, and you got to turn rev it again. You got to get down 2 goals before you can go rev it. That's what they're like. It's crazy.
They seriously are. It's so funny. Oh, that's good. You're
crazy.
I know.
Absolutely crazy.
It is.
Brock, do you want to go over predictions? Do you have your predictions?
Well, literally, I had them up right here. I was just gonna say, Brock, in the matter of if we can do this in the next minute, because we're gonna have to wrap it up right away. I'm just gonna fly through them. You tell me who.
I can go through it in 2 seconds.
Okay, ready? I'm gonna read them out to you right here. I got them right in front of me. I'm looking at them right now.
Okay.
We're gonna start right here. Blue Jackets, Lightning.
Oh, wrong conference. I'm in the West. Okay, Eastern Conference. I got Lightning in 4. It's just not going to happen again.
Okay, Bruins, Hurricanes. Hey, Brock.
Sorry,
Bruins
Boston,
and Hurricanes.
Sorry, Boston in 7. It wasn't lighting up for me. Boston in 7.
Interesting. I take the Hurricanes in 6. Islanders, Caps.
Caps in 5.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Flyers, Canadians.
Philly in 5.
That one's pretty easy too, unless Carey Price can go absolutely lights out again. Canucks.
Did you watch the Flyers though? The Flyers they're disgusting right now. They can't be stopped.
Oh, are they good?
They're good. Okay, what'd you say? Vegas, Chicago.
Vegas, Chicago.
Vegas in 5.
Yeah, that one's pretty straightforward too. There's no way that Kubalik can keep up the hot streak that he's on.
No, but respect.
And much respect. But Crawford's going to tank as well. He's getting a little older. I don't know if he can handle the boys up front of the Golden on Vegas. Flames and Stars. Flames in Dallas.
Calgary in 6.
Wow. See, I hope it's Dallas in 4, and I hope it's an absolute stomping. And I hope that Kachuk gets absolutely thrown through the glass and into the first deck of stands.
I get that.
Coyotes and Avs. Arizona, Colorado.
Colorado is just too good. I love Arizona, and I want to see them win, but Colorado in 6.
This in 6. I was going to say 5, possible sweep for the Avs.
Could be.
Another team that looks unbelievable. They're my cup favorite and my cup pick. I wouldn't mind seeing them win it all.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one, Brock, Canucks and Blues.
I got St. Louis in 7. That's a tricky one because I really did not like how the Blues looked, and the Canucks looked really good. But I think the Blues are going to edge them out.
Well, the classic case of what you just said is the Boston Bruins and Carolina Hurricanes series for me. Boston finished first in their conference, and they ended up dropping all 3 games in the round robin.
I don't know.
And now they're the lowest of the 4 teams, and of course they get stuck with Carolina. Okay, one of the top teams coming out of that play-in.
Yep.
And Carolina is a team who looked unreal. They swept the Rangers.
They look really good.
You got a hot team and a cold team. And so that's why I would give the edge to the Canes, but it's going to be real interesting to see if Boston can figure it out.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Well, are we going to go all the way to the Cup? I can just go through it quick. I got it pulled up. Bracket challenge.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I got Vegas over Calgary in the next round.
Okay.
Then I have Colorado over Vegas.
Okay.
And then I have Colorado over the Blues.
Yeah.
And then I have Colorado over Vegas. So Colorado is in my cup final. And then in the East, I have Philly beating Boston.
Okay.
And the Caps beating the Lightning.
Okay.
And then I have Philly beating the Caps, going to the cup final, and Colorado is also my pick for the cup champs.
A lot of favorites. It's always tough to pick the underdogs or to pick the teams who aren't likely to win. You always seem like you make your bracket or you go into a draft, and at the end of it, you go, oh my gosh, I picked all the favorites. And you just know in the back of your head, you're like, this can't happen. Something crazy is going to happen.
Probably.
Like the Islanders could sneak out against the Caps or something.
Right.
Yeah. Like you just don't know. And
I really think it's the Avs year though.
Yeah.
Their team is structured so well.
Yeah.
So well.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Brock, it's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you. You got any closing thoughts before we close it out? Oh, hey, PGA Championship. Now, obviously, the winner of the PGA Championship was Mr. Morikawa.
What a gun.
Mr. Morikawa.
More majors than cuts missed.
Isn't that incredible?
Did I say that right?
More majors than cuts missed. Yeah, he's missed 0 cuts and he has 1 major.
Oh. I didn't know the numbers. I just saw that and thought that was nuts, but that's still crazy.
So he's never missed a cut. He's never missed a cut, and he's got 1 major. This is his first major. So he finishes at 13 under par. Dustin Johnson, who was the leader going into Sunday's championship round, finishes at 11 under par. But how about this? Morikawa, Brock, was 6 under in the 4th round on Championship Sunday.
Yeah,
and
he
finishes 13 under. The clutch. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. Brooks Koepka blew it.
Tiger blew it.
Honestly,
Bryson, I'm glad blew it.
Yeah. Brooks Koepka shot a 4 over par on Championship
Poor
Sunday.
guy.
Come on,
Poor guy.
Brooksy.
Speaking of championships, I'm watching the current gold medal game.
Between Canada and U.S.?
Nope, between the Top Guns and TGP Sports.
And how's our boy Piercy doing?
He just had a really good rush. He almost dummied the goalie.
Wow.
But they TGP Sports just took the 2-1 lead with 5:53 left in the first period of the Senior A Finals.
Wow. So we wish them the best of luck, and we'll have an update for him. We're going to hear from Pierce next week on the podcast, and he'll give us the full lowdown. But we'll have the result and much more then.
Yeah, we will. Yep. We've still got a lot of game left here.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw that on right here too, Brock, and start checking that out. Any closing thoughts before we send her away?
Next week, I'm proud to say that I will probably be able to tell my golf cart story. I wanted to do it with Devin Pierce on the pod, so we'll have to wait just one more week for that.
I know. Sorry, I guess we kind of sort of promised that for this week, but next week you're gonna tell it.
I'll tell it next week.
Okay, next week we get to hear the legendary golf cart story from Brock Thompson. One of the funny stories I think I've ever heard. I've told multiple people of my close friends, actually, so it's out there.
Okay.
Okay, well, on behalf of Brock Thompson, I'm Jordan Winsky, a.k.a. Bo. You guys, I hope you guys enjoyed Coleton Benn at the beginning of the podcast, too. The guy's an absolute beauty. It was great to hear from him. It was so funny how it all worked out. He won that prize package for a Bo Show podcast appearance at the most recent golf tournament, I guess, here in Manitoba. And it's just so funny that we happen to know each other from back in the day. The guy's an absolute beauty. Loved having him on. Brock, thanks for the insight today on the NHL talk. I thought we killed it. Thought we did a great job.
Agreed.
And thank you guys. You guys can check us out online, www.thebowshow.ca. That's where all of our podcasts are, past and current ones, whatever you got. We got videos there with Jets. Oh, boy. That was the last one.
Marble Mouth.
Blake Wheeler, you name them, we got them. Big Buff from back in the day. We got interviews with those boys up on YouTube. Go to our website, thebowshow.ca. Check out our videos there. Follow us, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. We're posting every Tuesday, as long as life doesn't get in the way. And the odd time it did. Last week, Brock and Piercy had their 1-year wedding anniversaries. Had to hold off for those boys. But we'll see you next week. See you next Tuesday for episode 45 of the Bo Show podcast. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in, and we will see you then.